Okay, so like my first couple ones were all at the crib. We get the I went and got a camera, um, and had the tripod, and we just do them at the house. And then somebody was like, "Hey, I'm doing a show tonight." So, another rapper was coming in from out of town, and I want to get the interview, but they didn't have time to come over to the house. They were just going to the show. So I was like, "All right, well, I'll just bring the camera to the show, and then we'll do the interview at the side of the building." And that's a lot of those interviews went.
So you so back then, did you end up interviewing anybody that ended up like becoming somebody like super fucking cool from that like period of your life? Because you're like grabbing all these people in this low scale environments.
There's a lot of cool people. Oh man, like I think Maloney was my second interview.
Oh, nice.
Maloney was my second interview ever. Um, uh, Burns was one Ross Burns. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. Um, Mr. Burns from Hamilton. He's
He's the guy who interviewed you.
yeah, he had interviewed me on one of our videos. But what was I saying?
You were thinking about people you interviewed back then.
Oh yeah, people back then early. I really don't know like anybody like really kind of stood out. Like there was like a lot of people, like a lot of people. Like I don't want to like just name a couple and like kind of leave some out because like I don't think there's anybody like really kind of like that was like legendary or
Right.
anything. Yeah.
But you were still like putting in this effort of documenting the scene and getting to know all these different people. And how many, like, what was your frequency of interviews like?
I'd put out an interview like every week
And you've just always been putting out an interview a week? Or,
for a long time. Yeah, for like um yeah. If you look at like my whole like last 8 years, I probably put out average probably every 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe like over like 8 years.
yeah, that's a real commitment to it. That's also a lot of people you've talked to. Yeah, shout out Eddie G.
Especially.
All right, so back then, you started at Eddie G TV. You're performing. You're doing your thing like that. What kind of happens next in your life with that? How do things kind of evolve for you?
I started slowing down on the shows because I was getting a lot of like I could tell like a lot of the rappers around weren't really fans of me, and there was a lot of politics in the shows, and all those politics changed for me when I started doing the interviews. And it was like people were inviting me out to these shows that they wouldn't have me on before, but because I'm an interview nower, I'm an interview guy now. So like the show's kind of slowed up. I was just kind of like I'm like because um it became so busy like the LG show like the amount like I said like it became a snowball effect. The amount of people that are messaging me, and I was I'd go to some of these shows and like plan before I go. I like talk to like every artist that was on the bill, and I do like 5 interviews at a show.
Yeah, it's big. So you put
Yeah,
in like that work to like. So if somebody reaches out to you, you're gonna then go research the whole show and kind of leverage every other connect that you could make off of that opportunity.
and a lot of times a lot of those shows I just plan to I talk to one artist and like I'd go there to interview him, and like there would be other artists there, so I freestyle a lot of those interviews. I had no idea like I had just met some of those people. Very first time I ever seen them was like I watched their live set. I'd watch their live set and I'd do their interview. I know anything else about them.
So what kind of questions would you ask people? What was like an early Eddie G interview like?
Blunts or bongs, um, food questions. I still have food questions, but like I've made them way better. Um, I would say kind of like the same kind of questions I ask now, just kind of like I've gotten better at crafting the questions.
Right. Man, it's
Same
definitely.
kind of same kind of shit, but like just kind of like wording my shit better.
So like, who would be? So back then, how long were your interviews? Like, what do you think is a good interview length?
Back then, because they're at shows, like some of them like or like some of them would be like 15 minutes, some of them would be like three. Because like
Mm.
being at shows, it was like the environment was um so crazy that like it would be hard to kind of gauge of like how long I was gonna get the interview for.
Yo, that explains like a whole lot of the erratic nature of YouTube fucking interviews from that era. And it's not because it's not just you. It's like
Yeah,
all the yous out there making interviews, doing the same grind, dropping these like 4 minute interviews and in like these loud environments. And I'm like, why is everyone just going to the show like that? And no, as you're like, yo, because I can bang out 5 interviews at one time, my guy. This is
yeah,
called time management.
yeah, yeah. Like that's what it was. Like man,
That's super cool. So like, do you find like was it easy to interview people? Like were people receptive to it or was it like an like did you find people were kind of awkward about it?
at a certain time, it was really like when I walk into a place like other artists that had been on the show before, it'd be like, oh, shout out Eddie G. Like they'd be on the mic, like, oh, Eddie G's in the building. So then like other artists would look over and be like, oh, who's that? You know? So like it really became like easy for me for a long time.
Yeah, I can see how that works out. So you're able to get
Because
this
like I just walk in and like an artist that had been on the show before. I go to a show where um like one of the artists on the bill is like been on my show before, but I don't know any of their people. I'd usually like interview like the other people because the artists that had been on my show would say, "Oh, yo, you should get an interview with Eddie G."
Yeah, that's definitely a powerful motivating force. So off the jump, people fucked with your interviews, and it
Yeah.
creates a wave. I can understand how that feels a bit. Um, and then I guess how do you evolve it? Like, so you're doing this for a while. What comes next in this story in terms of how you're like building this? Are you playing the YouTube game? Are you doing the website thing, blogs? Like, there's so many things that are out there.
Um. So yeah, right around that time, um just just YouTube. I think my YouTube channel was like at its highest, um, like my at its highest peak it's ever been. I don't think I've ever really got back to that. I've come close lately, but yeah, just YouTube, and just trying to get like bigger interviews. Like I was just kind of like me one of my faults. I think like I've never really been the best at tech guy. A lot of people think I am like good at my tech guy because I do the interviews but I kind of like learned what I had to and kind of like that's one of my faults. I haven't learned kind of like um the next steps like that, you know.
Right.
So like I'm actually like looking into all that now. Like yeah, I want to start a different podcast and I want to start like some other shit, kind of have it on a different platform. Like this I'm learning right here. I'm like this is pretty cool. Like people can like with YouTube it's kind of like it's been around forever. This is kind of some new shit.
Yeah, YouTube is definitely. I don't want to call it like time stamped, but I think it's reached the point where I know what the 20-year-olds are talking about when they're complaining about YouTube changing. And if I feel that way and they feel that way, it means the 50-year-olds are on YouTube and it's over. That's what I learned. But I mean, it's not demonetization. It's not any of that shit. It's like I have a monetized YouTube channel and I got an 8,000 view video by accident. Google blessed me, and it was like $25. I'm like, that's shit. I'm like, what? That's it? And then I'm like, okay, I don't feel like motivated by YouTube, like, at all.
Right.
Like, it's a
Right.
good repository. It's a good like thing, and yeah, if you have like an album review that you're lucky on, somebody might like go click on it 4 years later. But I mean, YouTube doesn't feel like it's fun, is where I got to with YouTube. Whereas I came to Twitch, and all of a sudden, it's like people are in the chat. So I see you're doing, Instagram Live, and I'm like, I don't like the Instagram Live chat. Like, it's not like the Twitch chat with the emotes, and it just, I don't know. I don't know how to really describe it. It's like the silliest shit, but enough people agree with me that I know that there's something to the statement that the Instagram Live chat is not great. Like the whole
Right.
vibe of it. It could just shit pops up for 4 seconds and disappears, and you're trying to like find a comment, and it's not fun. This is just my old self when I'm on an Instagram
Yeah.
Live. I'm trying to participate, whereas Twitch, it's like, I don't know, the chat stays. But it's also, then you go to YouTube, and YouTube Live sucks. And I don't know why YouTube Live sucks, but it does. Can't even explain it.
Yeah.
Facebook Live's alright, but copyright, so fuck Facebook Live.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Um, but yeah,
Which do you think yeah, like I said, I'm in the best tech guy. So you think I should be moving the show
yo, if you
over to
moved it
Twitch?
to Twitch, yo, absolutely monetized. Like you have a mon, it just becomes a, well, I mean, it takes a minute. Like I don't, because with music you can fast track it, but it might take you what, a month, 2 months. You're monetized on Twitch. Now all of a sudden you're doing an interview, people can subscribe, which gives you money. They can throw bits, which is like throwing pennies at the strip club. That's my best way to describe it. So then you get whatever, but legitimately I've made a couple $100 in a lot faster time than I thought I would on Twitch. Like legitimately, I've had some gracious people, like shout out DJ Crystal Clear, who threw like fucking $40 for no reason one time. I don't know why, can't explain it, but it happened. And
Yeah.
then you go watch the DJs, and DJs get these hype trains where like a person subscribes or gifts like 5 subscriptions, because I don't know what it is in DJ land, but people throw money. Like they just throw money.
Yeah.
So they're throwing their money. I guess they can't buy drinks, so they're doing this. And then a hype train starts, and now all of a sudden that person just made $150, $200 on my stream, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking, because yo, like Amazon has tapped into all these like gambling shit. It's like even the sound it makes when somebody follows me, it's just so pleasing. Okay, like it's like you want more of it. It's like fucking crazy when you think about it. They have like all these gimmicks built in, but really, it's the live part. Um, to me, Twitch is like a middle ground, and it's really Altspace VR that we should all be fucking with right now. Like I'm moving already into the VR realms. I'm like, I mean, you want some content that's like translatable across mediums, and I realized that YouTube is video on demand, so it's edited, it's polished, it's the past, it's a higher budget to create, and all the giant high budget YouTube media companies kind of failed, right? Like they went like none of them are really doing anything, right? Like they launch series, then they launch new series, they never get to like, very few people actually have like success in that world on YouTube. So then I'm like, but Twitch is more subscription based. So like all you really need to do is find like 100, 200, 500, whatever it is, number of people in to subscribe to you, and you're eating off of
Yeah,
fucking.
it's like it's back down to like the like your fan base. Like your fan base is going to turn into this. Like it might be like less numbers because YouTube like been around forever. Like 50-year-olds watch it, so then like
but
the possibility for reviews on there is
but like
insane.
it's, views are such a meaningless number to me. Okay,
Yeah,
like because it's like views meets watch time, right? And then you
yeah,
realize, yo, they're just one person might click on a video 11 times, but that's only one person, right? And people don't think about it like that. So with Twitch, facts are there are 2 people right now on Facebook, and I see 7 on Twitch. I'm one of them, so 6 on Twitch. That's 8 people definitively from different accounts actively engaged in this piece of content for an
For
extended
sure.
watch time.